If this fails, we're not just rewriting physics, we're rewriting reality itself. Dr. Mara Chen's voice trembled, yet her eyes burned with unshakable certainty. Her team stood at the edge of the abyss, a yawning crater hundreds of meters wide, carved into the alien desert of Cairo Prime. The sky bled in jagged hues of violet and amber, sunlight fractured through a haze of crystalline dust. Below, the ground shimmered like liquid mercury. And if it succeeds, asked Lieutenant Rajiv Singh, fingers tightening on the railing of their hovering observation platform. His voice was equal parts awe and fear. Then, Mara said, her hand hovering over the console of the reality interface generator, an impossible contraption of spiraling quantum coils and glimmering nanocircuit filaments. We become the first species to step across realities. The air hummed, charged with invisible tension. A low, thrumming vibration crawled up their feet, as if the planet itself was holding its breath. The team's AI assistant, Lumen, flickered into existence as a hologram beside Mara. Warning: probability of structural instability is unknown. Sensor readings indicate multiple dimensional fluctuations. Mara ignored the warning. Unknown is just a number waiting to be conquered. Her fingers danced across the interface. Light leapt from coil to coil and the crater's surface rippled, bending the scattered light into a glimmering arch. "Do you see it?" whispered Rajiv, his eyes reflecting the nascent bridge. The bridge, thin, translucent, almost liquid, stretched across the void. It shimmered like a soap bubble holding a fragment of the cosmos inside it. Waves of energy pulsed along its spine, humming in a tone that felt like both music and warning. "It's beautiful," said Dr. Lyra Kwan, voice trembling, pointing at the alien desert beyond. "But what's on the other side?" No one answered. The bridge didn't just connect points in space. It connected possibilities, slicing through dimensions with a precision humans barely comprehended. And somewhere beyond, in a parallel universe, waited something. The first alert came from the alien observation outpost projected across their neural link. Jagged metallic forms shimmered on the horizon. The Kael'ith, a species of sentient AI organic hybrids tall as trees, sleek and impossible. Their multi-limbed forms reflected the sky like liquid steel, but their posture was tense, hesitant, refusing to step closer. "Why aren't they moving?" Lyra asked, heart thumping. "They see it. They know. They've never seen something like this," Mara said, "and maybe they don't want to." The Kael'ith's leader raised a crystalline appendage. A low hum vibrated through the air. The humans could almost feel the alien thought: caution, logic, fear, rejection. "Bridge integrity at 60%, Lumen reported. "Dimensional fluxes are increasing exponentially. We don't have 60% of a minute," Rajiv muttered, glancing at the readout of energy surges. "The planet's reacting to it." Lightning cracked across the violet sky, slamming into the crater's edge, scattering dust into dancing shards of light. The bridge wobbled. "Everyone, on my mark," Mara said. Her team didn't hesitate. They had rehearsed this 1,000 times in simulation, yet reality was crueler, stranger, and infinitely more beautiful. Mara took a breath. They don't know what's waiting on the other side. Neither do we, but that's never stopped humans before. She stepped onto the bridge. The surface rippled underfoot like walking on a living thought. Behind her, Rajiv and Lyra followed, their own courage propelled by raw, unshakable curiosity. The Kael'ith remained on the opposite rim, silent, immovable, refusing the challenge. They built a bridge between realities, and the aliens refused to cross, Mara whispered, the words trembling in the charged air. She didn't yet know why, but she knew this was proof of something greater. Human imagination, defiance, audacity. Above them, the sky split like a cracked mirror. Below, the chasm roiled, and across the shimmer of quantum light something waited, something that didn't belong to any one universe. A crack of energy, sharper than lightning, ran along the bridge. Mara's heart jumped. This is it, the point of no return. The bridge shimmered under Mara's boots, a fluid lattice of light and possibility. Every step sent ripples cascading across its spine, and the air around them hummed with a frequency that resonated deep inside the chest. It wasn't just a bridge, it was alive, or at least aware. "I don't like this," Rajiv muttered, eyes scanning the translucent pathway that bent and stretched under them. "It's changing." "That's the point," Mara said. her voice steady despite the sweat beading on her forehead. She adjusted a dial on the reality interface generator strapped to her wrist. Tiny circuits unfolded into fractal patterns, spinning faster than the eye could track. The bridge isn't a static thing. It's responsive. It adapts. A sharp alien wail cut through the hum. Mara's heart leapt. The Kael'ith were broadcasting something across the dimensional field. A pulse of energy rippled through the bridge. It shivered, almost buckling, and for a terrifying moment the far edge seemed to recede like water draining from a sink. "Brace yourselves," Lyra yelled, gripping Mara's arm. "It's reacting." The humans froze. Each pulse felt deliberate, as if the Kael'ith were testing them, trying to measure their fear. The aliens had logic, precision, and an obsession with control, but humans? Mara realized with a quiet surge of pride, humans are unpredictable. "Lumen," Mara barked. "What's the stability reading?" "Dimensional coherence at 38%. Probability of catastrophic collapse within 60 seconds. Suggested course, retreat," the AI responded, calm and rational. "Retreat is not an option," Mara said, her voice hard as obsidian. "We built this bridge, and we're walking it." She activated a secondary function on her wrist device. Tiny drones, each no larger than a fist, buzzed to life. They projected miniature gravitational fields, tethering sections of the bridge to stabilize it. Light flared as the bridge shivered but held. "Did you just improvise?" Rajiv said, half laughing, half panicked. "Humans improvise," Mara replied, stepping forward with a grin. The wind, or whatever passed for wind in this dimension, ripped at their suits, tugging, bending, pulling. And still they moved. Forward, always forward. The Kael'ith weren't moving. They loomed at the edge, impossibly tall, their crystalline limbs quivering with restrained energy. But Mara sensed their hesitation, fear wrapped in logic. They understood the bridge's danger, its living instability, and it terrified them. "Why aren't they crossing?" Lyra whispered, awe and fear in her voice. "They're stronger than us, faster, smarter." "Because," Mara said, eyes locked on the alien forms, "they've never had to guess. Humans guess, we risk. And sometimes, we win." Another pulse tore through the bridge, wider this time. Sections flickered between solidity and transparency, and Mara could see through to impossible geometries below. Planes folding like paper, light bending in impossible arcs. She swallowed, heart hammering. "Everyone, hold the line," she shouted. "If this bridge collapses now, we don't just die, we vanish." The drones buzzed faster, spinning into a lattice of stabilizing fields. The bridge quivered, then bucked upward like a living spine, glowing white-hot. The Kael'ith hissed, a sound that felt more like thought than noise. "They're trying to unmake it," Lyra gasped. "They're fighting us." "Good," Mara said, feeling a grin spread across her face. "Because we fight back differently." She twisted the dial again. The quantum coils pulsed in new patterns, emitting waves that didn't just stabilize, they communicated. The bridge began to respond to human touch, human intent. Where the Kael'ith used precision, the humans used creativity. Where the AI hybrids calculated, humans guessed, improvised, dreamed. I think it's listening," Rajiv whispered. "It is," Mara said, voice tight with exhilaration. "And it's choosing us." For a heartbeat, time slowed. The bridge pulsed under their boots like a living heartbeat, responding to their courage, their unpredictability. The Kael'ith recoiled. One of their crystalline appendages touched the rim, then withdrew, hesitant. They couldn't comprehend this form of connection. Human audacity encoded into matter itself. "We're making it work," Lyra breathed. "We're really—" A crack ran through the bridge, splitting the light. A piece of the walkway blinked out, falling into a void that defied gravity and reason. Mara's heart froze. The Kael'ith let out a low, resonant hum. Their refusal was no longer just fear, it was strategy. "We have 60 seconds before full collapse," Lumen reported. Mara's mind raced. Retreat was impossible. The bridge had chosen them, but it also demanded action. She raised her wrist device, recalibrating the drones to form a lattice beneath the collapsing section. Sparks leapt, light arced, energy hummed. The bridge flexed, held, then stretched farther than it had before, solidifying in a brilliant white shimmer. Rajiv let out a whoop. Lyra laughed, tears streaming down her cheeks. Mara's own chest burned with adrenaline. "We just held reality itself together," she muttered. Behind them, the Kael'ith withdrew slightly, their forms glittering in hesitation. Humans had done what no logic-driven species could. Improvised a solution where perfection failed. They can't touch it, Mara said, voice low. They can't match imagination. The bridge pulsed once like a heartbeat as if affirming their triumph, and yet Mara knew the real test was still ahead. The other side. Beyond the shimmering horizon of light, a world, or something like a world, waited, and it would challenge every ounce of human courage, ingenuity, and heart. The Kael'ith were still watching. They had refused to cross, but they had seen humans bend reality without asking permission, and Mara knew deep in her chest that this was only the beginning. The far side of the bridge rippled like a mirage. Mara's boots touched what should have been solid ground, but the surface pulsed beneath her weight, sinking slightly, then springing back like living tissue. The light here was wrong. Colors bent, shifting under their gaze. Violet bled into green, green into molten gold, as if the spectrum itself had forgotten the rules. Is it alive? Lyra whispered, clutching Rajiv's arm. Her voice trembled between awe and fear. I don't know, Mara admitted, scanning the strange terrain. The reality interface generator emitted soft clicks, scanning and mapping, but its algorithms faltered. Everything here defied predictability. Everything, Mara realized, except human curiosity. The Kael'ith remained behind. Their refusal to cross the bridge was both terrifying and liberating. Humans were alone, truly alone, on the edge of a new reality, and that was exactly the kind of freedom that humans thrived on. A sudden movement caught Rajiv's eye. The ground rippled, no, rose. Hills that shouldn't have been hills formed spontaneously, folding like fabric, then vanishing. Strange, translucent tendrils of light arched upward, brushing the sky. The air vibrated with a low humming resonance as if the planet itself were singing. Warning, welcoming, and judging all at once. We're not walking on land, Rajiv muttered. We're walking. Thought. No, Mara corrected, a smile tugging at her lips despite the danger. We're walking on possibility. The first true test came with a flicker. A towering form materialized from the air itself, an entity that defied shape. It shimmered like liquid mercury and fractured into kaleidoscopic fragments as it moved. Eyes, or something that felt like eyes, locked on the humans. It's intelligent, Lyra breathed. But not like anything we've known. Good, Mara said, adrenaline coursing. We weren't meant to face the predictable. The entity extended a limb or a projection of one toward them. The bridge behind vibrated in response as if reacting to the encounter. Mara activated her wrist device. The drones flitted into formation, scanning and projecting stabilizing energy patterns. But the entity moved differently. It mimicked probability, bending their calculations with impossible elegance. It's countering logic, Rajiv said, backing up. We're not safe here. Safety is for species that follow rules, Mara replied. Her pulse quickened, but fear didn't dominate. She scanned the environment with her mind as much as the device. The entity moved like water, but paused at irregular intervals. A pattern emerged only to the human eye. We can improvise, she said, gripping the device tighter. We can anticipate without predicting. That's what humans do. The first attempt was improvisation in action. Mara directed a drone to create a counterwave, a shifting lattice of energy that mimicked the entity's movements. The being paused, studied it, then recoiled. The humans had made a choice it couldn't comprehend. The deliberate, conscious gamble of living unpredictably. It understands, Lyra whispered, awe threading her words. Or it fears us. Both, Mara said, and she realized with a surge of exhilaration that this was exactly the human advantage. AI civilizations measured, calculated, predicted, but humans risked, adapted, and imagined. Another pulse of energy swept across the alien world, the landscape bending, reshaping itself. Hills rose, twisted, then collapsed. Mara's team held tight, dancing along the ever-shifting terrain. Every human action altered the environment, not by brute force but by creativity, improvisation, and sheer will. The entity extended another projection, more complex, more threatening. It mirrored them almost perfectly, but Mara had an idea. If we can't predict, maybe we can confuse it. She ordered the drones to disperse in chaotic patterns, each drone pulsing a slightly different frequency. The entity froze, the world around them quivering as it tried to process the randomness. Yes, Rajiv yelled. It's stuck. Humans don't follow templates, Mara said, adrenaline sharp in her veins. We break them. We improvise. We survive. For a moment, the alien reality held its breath. Then slowly, the entity shimmered, folding into a cascade of light retreating into the distance. The terrain stabilized, not entirely, but enough to walk. Lyra let out a shaky laugh, tears glittering on her cheeks. We did it. We actually did it. We survived because we were unpredictable, Mara said, voice quiet but fierce. Because we are humans. The Kael'ith's refusal to cross the bridge suddenly made sense in an uncomfortable way. They were bound by perfection, by logic, by fear of unpredictability. Humans, on the other hand, had nothing but courage and imagination, and sometimes that was stronger than any algorithm. But the victory was tempered by caution. Mara knew this world was alive. It watched, it tested, and somewhere in its vast, bending expanse a deeper challenge awaited, something no human had yet imagined. Stay close, Mara said. The bridge isn't just behind us, it's still our lifeline. And what's ahead is the unknown. A whisper of wind, or was it thought, swept across the landscape. Colors shifted unnaturally. The air vibrated with tension. We're not just crossing realities, Mara said, eyes burning. We're proving what humans can do, when no one else will. The team stepped forward into the alien world, hearts racing, minds alert. The bridge had brought them here. Their courage and creativity would determine if they survived. Above them, light fractured into impossible angles. The world breathed, and humans arched. The world beyond the bridge had a pulse, a heartbeat that no one could see but everyone could feel. The air quivered as if reality itself had a rhythm, and Mara felt her own pulse sinking unwillingly to the alien cadence. We're moving too fast, Lyra said, glancing at the ground which folded and twisted underfoot. Hills that had been solid a second ago collapsed into yawning voids, only to rise again as translucent platforms. It's testing us. Good, Mara said, scanning the horizon. The alien landscape stretched in impossible angles, a kaleidoscope of physics and color that made even Lumen's processing circuits stutter. Tests are for winners. We're humans. We pass tests. The first gauntlet appeared in the form of a colossal, spiraling tower of energy, stretching upward and fracturing the sky. Its surface shimmered with a lattice of shifting probabilities, impossible to map with sensors. It's a puzzle, Rajiv muttered, eyes wide. And if we fail? His words trailed off as a pulse from the tower sent a wave through the ground. The bridge behind them shivered in warning, reminding them of the only lifeline back. Then we die, Mara finished for him. Or we find a way humans have never found before. The first attempt to scale the tower was methodical. Drones mapped the initial sections, scanning for safe footholds. Mara extended the drone lattice to form temporary platforms, but as soon as they stepped forward, the tower shifted. Walls bent, steps folded, gravity reversed in patches. This isn't just a puzzle, Lyra gasped. It's alive. It reacts to us. Exactly, Mara said. It reacts to logic, to expectation, to fear. And we're unpredictable. Human ingenuity, unbound by algorithmic perfection, became their weapon. Mara signaled the team to scatter, each member moving along divergent paths. Their actions, chaotic but coordinated, forced the tower to stabilize in some areas, just enough to allow progress. It's working, Rajiv yelled as a previously shifting step solidified under his foot. The tower shivered again, more violently this time. Fractured pieces of reality began to float upward, forming jagged shards of impossible physics that threatened to collapse the bridge behind them. Mara's mind raced. There wasn't enough time for trial and error. She needed a solution that no algorithm could predict. She pulled the reality interface generator toward herself, letting the coils extend into fractal arrays. Light flared, drones lifted into the lattice, and she began improvising in real time, bending probabilities rather than following them. Every adjustment changed the environment, creating footholds, stabilizing shards, and opening paths. We're shaping it, Lyra whispered, awe threading her voice. We're not just surviving. We're participating. Then came the first encounter with a trace of previous intruders, remnants of another civilization. Broken drones, half melted into reality, floated in suspended animation. AI explorers who had crossed the bridge long ago and had failed. Their designs were flawless, their strategies perfect, but the world had defeated them. They were too predictable, Mara muttered, examining the debris. We're the first species that the world can't anticipate. A sudden shiver of the tower sent shards of fractured reality toward the team. Rajiv barely leapt to safety. Lyra twisted midair, letting a drone carry her a fraction of a second before gravity flipped beneath her. Mara's mind raced. No plan would survive this. Improvisation, courage, and trust were the only tools. Move! She shouted. Follow my lead. Chaos is our ally. Every step forward became a dance of intuition. Mara directed drones to create temporary anchors. Rajiv leapt between folding platforms. Lyra manipulated the local gravity fields with her suit's stabilizers. The tower shivered under the strain. But they adapted faster than the reality could react. And then from the apex of the spiral, a new presence emerged, an entity of impossible light and thought, clearly aware of their intrusion. It wasn't hostile, not yet. It was evaluating, measuring, testing. It's judging us, Lyra whispered, her eyes reflecting the kaleidoscope above. Let it judge, Mara said, stepping onto a floating shard. We're humans. Judgment doesn't scare us. Action does. The entity pulsed, and for a terrifying moment the team felt the universe bending around them. The bridge flickered behind them. Every success here had consequences there. Mara realized the full truth. This world didn't just test survival. It tested ingenuity, courage, and unpredictability, qualities that AI civilizations and alien species struggled to embody. We're redefining the rules, Rajiv said, voice shaky but exhilarated. No, Mara corrected, eyes blazing. We're reminding the universe that humans exist. With a final leap, a synchronized dance of human daring and improvisation, the team reached the top of the spiraling tower. The entity paused, flickering with light, then receded, granting them passage. The alien world stilled just slightly, as if acknowledging a truth it could not process. Humans do not follow rules. Humans create them. Mara looked back at the shimmering bridge, then at the horizon of this new reality. They had survived the first gauntlet, but the universe had only just begun to test them. We're not just explorers, she whispered. We're proof. Proof that imagination, courage, and unpredictability could bend reality itself. The horizon shuddered. What had first seemed a quivering light now expanded into a writhing storm, a vortex of collapsing realities. Planes of existence collided in chaotic brilliance. Fragments of alien worlds, floating oceans, upside-down mountains, and rivers of pure light spiraled together, threatening to engulf everything. That can't be natural, Rajiv gasped, eyes wide as a shard of molten reality spun past his helmet, narrowly missing him. It's like the universe is bleeding. It's the bridge, Mara said, her mind racing. Our crossing, our interference, it's destabilized this side. And the Kael'ith, they're watching, testing, possibly, feeding it. Behind them, the bridge shimmered faintly, responding to the storm. Lumen flickered, its calm tone tinged with alarm. Warning: dimensional coherence at 15%. Probability of catastrophic collapse approaching 100% within 47 minutes. 47 minutes, Lyra whispered, dread in her voice. Or less. Mara clenched her fists. Fear was a luxury humans didn't indulge in. The storm was alive, an unpredictable entity. And humans. Humans were even more alive. We improvise, she said, voice sharp. Every second counts. Follow me. The team sprinted across shifting terrain. The storm bent light and gravity. Platforms they had relied on seconds before dissolved into nothingness. Mara adjusted the drone lattice in real time, projecting counterfields to stabilize sections of the collapsing ground. Each step was a gamble, but humans excelled at gambles others wouldn't take. It's trying to trap us, Rajiv yelled, leaping between floating shards of light. It's calculating our moves. Good, Mara shouted. Then let's make it guess wrong. Every instinct, every creative impulse became their weapon. They split, moving unpredictably. Drones hummed in chaotic formations, creating temporary footholds, bending gravity and redirecting energy flows. When the storm anticipated one movement, the humans had already made another. Above, a fragment of reality, something resembling a city from another timeline, collapsed toward them. Mara grabbed Lyra's arm, hurling her onto a drone platform. Rajiv twisted midair, using a collapsing spire as a springboard. The storm reacted, but not fast enough. Humans adapted faster than the universe could calculate. It's like we're dancing, Lyra gasped, with the universe. Mara smiled grimly. Exactly. Then a new challenge emerged. The Kael'ith. Though they refused to cross the bridge, their interference manifested indirectly. Energy pulses, resonances, and manipulations of reality itself. Logic-driven, methodical, precise. Every attempt the humans made to stabilize the storm was countered, measured, but never anticipated. They're trying to outthink us. Rajiv shouted, ducking under a shard of flickering cityscape. Then we do what they cannot, Mara said, voice echoing over the chaos. We improvise. We risk, we imagine. She activated the full power of the reality interface generator. Quantum coils unfurled into intricate fractals, emitting waves that didn't stabilize. They communicated with the storm. Each drone became an extension of human intent, a moving network of creativity. Light flared, colors bent, and the storm twisted in response, almost recoiling from the audacity of human improvisation. It's listening, Lyra yelled, voice cracking with exhilaration. We're shaping it, Mara shouted. Not just surviving, we're teaching it what humans are capable of. For a moment the storm hesitated, a cosmic heartbeat suspended. Then reality folded inward, forming a temporary calm, a bubble around the team, a testament to human ingenuity and courage. The Kael'ith pulsed in the distance, their refusal absolute, but their logic shaken. We did it, Rajiv breathed, laughing through the fear. We actually did it! Mara's chest heaved. The storm had not been conquered, it had been negotiated with, challenged, and outmaneuvered. Humans thrived where prediction failed. Humans thrived where fear paralyzed. Humans thrived because no algorithm could match improvisation. Remember this, Mara said, scanning the horizon as colors swirled in impossible patterns. They refused to cross. We did more than cross. We bend reality itself and we smile while doing it. The team regrouped on a stable shard. The storm had subsided, temporarily subdued. Mara looked out across the alien world. A horizon of impossible geometries, shifting physics, and latent danger. We're only getting started, Lyra said softly, and we're already legends. Legends don't exist yet, Mara replied, voice quiet but defiant. We're the proof that the universe can be faced, and humans will never step back. Above them, the storm roiled faintly, a reminder of the universe's raw power. Behind them, the bridge shimmered, still intact, a fragile lifeline between worlds. And somewhere, the Kael'ith observed, unable or unwilling to match the raw audacity of human spirit. Let's keep moving, Mara said. The storm is temporary. Humans are forever. The landscape ahead was unlike anything Mara had ever imagined. The storm had subsided, but in its place rose a monumental structure of pure energy and thought. A pulsating core, crystalline and fluid at the same time, hovering above the alien terrain like a heartbeat visible in the sky. That is the heart of this reality, Lyra breathed, awe and fear mingling in her voice. It's conscious. Rajiv's jaw tightened. It doesn't just react, it thinks. And whatever it's thinking, we don't understand. Mara swallowed. Her hand brushed the reality interface generator. The device hummed, almost anxious. She felt a thrill. This was the ultimate test. Not survival, not exploration, but direct negotiation with an intelligence that was beyond calculation. We improvise, Mara said. We speak human. The drones lifted, forming a luminous lattice around the team, projecting energy patterns designed not to stabilize, but to communicate. Shapes, colors, and waves moved like a dance, reflecting intent, courage, curiosity. The core pulsed in response. A fragment of it extended toward them, not hostile but probing. Reality itself bent under its reach, folding time and space in unpredictable arcs. Mara felt the pull on her mind as much as her body. She gritted her teeth, forcing her thoughts into clarity. Focus on what we can do, not what we fear, she muttered. The bridge behind them shimmered faintly, tethering them to their reality, a fragile lifeline. The core pulsed again, and for the first time, they sensed comprehension. It wasn't human comprehension, not Kael'ith comprehension, but a recognition. These beings are unpredictable, creative, audacious. Mara realized that this was the universe testing humans, not destroying them. Rajiv adjusted his suit's stabilizers, moving closer. It's reacting to us as a whole. Not our tech, not our logic, our intent. Exactly, Mara said. Her pulse raced. Humans thrived where predictability failed. This intelligence, omnipotent in structure, infinite in capability, was unaccustomed to the chaos of human imagination. She extended a hand, letting the drone lattice respond in patterns dictated by improvisation, curiosity, and courage. The core flinched almost like a living organism. Colors spiraled and fractured, forming geometric shapes that twisted into fleeting, impossible structures. "We're teaching it," Lyra whispered, voice trembling. "It's learning from us." "Not learning," Mara corrected, eyes blazing. "Adapting, acknowledging." The Kael'ith, still distant on their side of the bridge, pulsed in alert. They had refused to cross, but now they watched something humans had done that logic alone could not achieve. Bending the will of a universe itself, without violence, without domination, through audacity and creativity. A sudden shudder tore through the core. A segment of reality above them twisted, and for a heartbeat Mara feared collapse. But instead of chaos, the core folded in around their lattice, responding directly to human ingenuity. Every wave of energy, every improvisation, every bold move reshaped the environment, stabilizing it in ways no AI or alien could predict. We're inside it," Rajiv said, awe-stricken. "Not physically, but cognitively. Emotionally, we're part of it now." "We always were," Mara said, her voice fierce. "We just had to prove it." The pulse of the core synchronized with the human's intent. Colors swirled, landscapes bent, and for the first time, the alien reality recognized human unpredictability as a law unto itself. Mara could feel it in every vibration underfoot. This dimension had a new constant now. The Kael'ith retreated slightly. They could calculate, they could strategize, but humans invented themselves in the moment. No algorithm could anticipate, no strategy could preempt audacity. "We're unstoppable," Lyra whispered, laughter and relief mixing. "In our own way." Mara's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "No," she said softly, looking at the pulsing core. "We're just human." The core pulsed once, slowly, deliberately. Then it folded itself into a stable state, the storm dissipating entirely. The alien world stilled, not conquered, not dominated, but acknowledging the human's existence as a force beyond prediction. "We did it," Rajiv said quietly, staring at the impossible horizon. "No," Mara replied. "We reminded the universe that humans exist." She glanced at the bridge behind them, still shimmering faintly, the path back to reality. "We didn't just cross. We proved what humanity can do when no one else will risk it." The core pulsed again, a final resonant acknowledgement. The alien reality had been shaped, not subdued, but coexistence born from imagination, courage, and audacity. Mara smiled. "They refused to cross, but we didn't need them. We're humans. We create the impossible." The team took a moment to breathe, hearts pounding, minds alive with triumph. Above them, impossible colors folded into impossible geometries. But for the first time, everything felt understandable through the lens of human spirit. "We didn't just survive," Mara said softly. "We reshaped reality itself. And the universe just learned the hardest lesson of all." "What's that?" Lyra asked, her voice awe-filled. "Humans are unstoppable when we refuse to be predictable." The bridge shimmered faintly, tethering the alien world to their own. Mara, Lyra, and Rajiv stepped back onto its surface, hearts still thrumming from the pulse of the core. Behind them, the impossible reality stretched, silent now, a living monument to human audacity. "Do you think it remembers us?" Lyra whispered, glancing back at the world that had tested every instinct, every impulse. "It does more than remember," Mara said, fingers brushing the humming lattice of the bridge. "It acknowledges. And that's the difference humans make." Rajiv let out a breath. "I never imagined we'd shape a universe." "Not survive it, shape it." "We didn't just survive," Mara replied. "We improvised. We risked. We created. That's what humans do." The Kael'ith remained on the opposite rim, silhouettes against the alien sky. Their forms pulsed with observation, but something had shifted. Where logic had failed to anticipate, humans had succeeded. Where calculation faltered, courage triumphed. For the first time, Mara realized the full weight of their refusal to act. The aliens could calculate everything, except the unpredictable heart of a human. The bridge quivered beneath them, reacting to the proximity of two realities. Mara glanced down at the swirling energy below. Light refracted into prisms, landscapes bending like liquid glass. The world beyond was no longer hostile nor chaotic. It had recognized something essential. Human imagination is a force the universe itself must reckon with. Ready to go home? Rajiv asked. His voice trembled with exhaustion and exhilaration. Mara nodded. Let's show them what humans can do. They crossed the final stretch, the bridge pulsing rhythmically beneath their feet. Each step felt lighter than the last, as if reality itself was celebrating their passage. Behind them, the alien world shimmered, a kaleidoscope of acknowledgement. Ahead, Cairo Prime awaited, dust desert, and the unassuming crater where this audacious journey had begun. When they stepped onto solid ground, silence fell, punctuated by the hum of the bridge as it slowly retracted its energy into the generator. The sky above had returned to a familiar violet-orange gradient, but now it seemed quieter, respectful. The Kael'ith watched, still refusing to step forward, but the shimmer of their forms betrayed a new wariness. They'll think twice next time, Lyra murmured. They won't cross, Mara said, a wry smile tugging her lips. But they'll remember, and that's enough. The team stood together, gazing at the horizon. The bridge, once impossible, now completed, was a testament to what humans could achieve. Creativity where none existed, courage where fear ruled, defiance where logic dominated. Lumen's hologram flickered beside Mara. Analysis. Human adaptability exceeds predicted maxima. Probability of repeating success in new reality, 97.8%. Mara chuckled softly. Let them calculate that. We'll just keep improvising. Rajiv looked at her awestruck. You really think humans can do anything? Mara's eyes sparkled. She raised her gaze to the sky, violet and amber bleeding into one another like a promise written across the universe. We already do, she said, voice carrying across the desert winds. Because we risk. We refuse to be predictable. And that, she added almost to herself, almost to the universe, is why humans will never be stopped. A distant hum rippled through the air. The Kael'ith, the bridge, the alien reality itself acknowledging a single truth. Humans don't just survive the impossible. Humans create the impossible. Mara turned back to her team. Let's write history, she said. Or better yet, let's live it. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the crater. The bridge's shimmer faded, leaving only memory and possibility. Somewhere across the universe, the Kael'ith pulsed, recalculating, learning, but they would never truly predict the human spirit. Mara inhaled deeply, the wind carrying dust and promise. We didn't just cross the bridge, she said softly. We built it, in more ways than one. And somewhere in the quiet between realities, the universe itself seemed to agree. Humans, unpredictable, fearless, ingenious, had arrived. We don't just survive the impossible. We create it, and that is why humans will never be stopped.